Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm sitting down with Alan, one of our elders. And Alan, you just got back from the Dominican Republic, is
Yes,
that
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you are a part of the team that went over there. Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys went over there to accomplish, I guess?
Yeah, we were partnering with a organization called Mana. The person there, the host, his name was Jeff. Him and Eric had a relationship, and we went there to really help them love on the youth that was in their community there. It was a mixture of local Dominican Republic kids. It was a mixture of, some of them were Haitian refugee kids. So the political climate there wasn't really that great at the time, and so what they have is they're trying to equip the local leaders there, the church leaders and the local community leaders there, to build up the kind of community that they want, to give these kids a place to be able to live, to get all of their legal documentations, to get whatever paperwork they need in order to get an education, so on and so forth. So when we went, our goal was just to love on them. We went and we brought equipment and supplies to beautify their home. And so we did stuff like paint and hang curtains and assemble furniture for them. So the before and after was really awesome to see. We also put on a 4-day sports camp. It was the first time they've ever done anything to that scale, and it really gave, the local leaders there a lot of encouragement, because they realized, we can do this, right? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to get volunteers to come and put something like this on. Every day we had anywhere between 70 to 90 kids there. And it was amazing because these kids, they just exuded so much joy and happiness, and you can tell they really enjoyed that time just to be able to be kids. A lot of these youth there, they're not any older than our kids, and yet they're having to be the parent for their younger siblings, and there's a lot of weight and responsibility living in that environment. And so to be able to see them just to let loose and be able to have fun, that was very amazing.
It sounds like you had a really practical impact on that ministry.
Yeah.
Part of why we do short-term missions is, we go and we help, we have a practical impact, but also it's very formation building for the people who go on the trip.
Correct.
What kind of impacts did going on this trip have on you?
First of all, the team that we brought with 21 people, it was a mixture of adults and kids. So one of the things that the hosts actually really said they appreciated about FCC was we were one of the very few missionary teams that sent children along with them. So from junior high to high school to elementary, they really connected with all the kids there, right? And so that was a profound impact for them. But for us, we just got to, when you're on a missions trip somewhere to the DR, there was no Wi-Fi. It was hot and humid, and everybody just had to pull together and help each other and support each other. It was a great bonding experience. I grew closer to a lot of people on the team that I didn't necessarily know that well. So for me, it was great to just discover other aspects of people. When you travel and you serve together, you discover each other's character, right? But for me personally, I think what really struck a chord was that, God's sovereignty and God's providence. Even though we were from, half a world away, or at least half a country away, we went there and we saw the same foundational love for the kingdom of God. The people there shared the same love for Christ as we did. So it was really encouraging to see that no matter what race, creed, nationality, location you're at, no matter what your beliefs are, where you live in the world, God's providence is real. He is at work. He is he's moving his kingdom in places that you didn't think about. And when you go and see that, to see it look and feel the same, that's a very encouraging and a motivating factor for anyone who is serving, because you see that, his kingdom is moving.
Yeah. Did you have any hesitancies in registering to go on this trip? And then if we have anyone who's listening who has maybe some of those same hesitancies, what would you say to them?
Well, I brought both my 9-year-old son and my 12-year-old daughter. So my hesitancy definitely, I think most of the parents who brought their kids shared the same hesitancy was, as an adult, I know I'm fine.
Yeah.
If I have to take a cold shower, I know I'm good. If I have to sleep with no AC, I know I'm good. But I wasn't sure how my kids were going to do it. So it was challenging to bring your whole family along because I was worried I had to juggle both being on mission for God, but also being a parent. Yeah. But thankfully, because we were all in the same boat in several families, we really galvanized together. We took care of each other's kids. We made sure to hold all the kids accountable. So it actually worked out really well. And looking back, it was a great experience because it was phenomenal for my kids just to experience something different. For them to have their eyes opened and see that the world is much bigger than Fremont. And I think it's not just for the sake of humbling them. I mean, that's great and all, but just for them to understand the fact that there are things going on in the world that are bigger than just what we have here. And that's a very good perspective to have and to plant that seed at an early and a young age, to know that this is what it feels like to live for something other than just your own comfort and your own needs, but to serve a bigger picture, to serve God's kingdom, right? So I would highly encourage anyone who has ever even had any slight interest or thinking about going on a missions trip. I think number one, team building and getting to know your fellow congregants. That's great. But other than that, I think when you put aside your own personal schedule and your commitments, and you truly serve the Lord, He will open up doors and perspectives and encouragement that you probably would have never gotten had you not taken that opportunity. So I would highly encourage anyone who's even remotely considered it to really think about doing that, because it's hard to even put in words. You'll know it once you experience it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your trip?
I just want to echo what I just said. Is just, I think the more people who we can encourage, not just from our church, but the churches here in Fremont, I think putting yourself out there and serving someone other than yourself, I think it's one of the main ways, if you really want to hear from God and listen to God and make disciples and follow in His commission. I think it's something that we all should at least experience and allow Him to work in you, allow Him to open your mind and your heart. We always say that, but do we really do that, right? Well, we always say we want our minds to be open and our hearts to be open, but do we ever intentionally book time on our calendar or utilize our resources to go allow ourselves to do that? So it's one thing to say it, but I challenge everybody to examine themselves and think to themselves, like, is this something that I can really do to make an impact, not just for the community and not just for who I'm serving, but also for myself, to see what God will unveil and change from my perspective. So I highly recommend that for everybody.
Well, thank you for booking some time on your calendar to sit down and share your story.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks for having me.